Okay. Don't know how good this audio is going to be inside of this moving fucking vehicle with exhaust, but heading over to my mom's house right now, which is where I keep my black car, at the moment at least. Not sure if I'm gonna move it to my apartment and park it in my garage space or not, because that would mean I would street park this car, the Civic, and I don't really want to do that in my area, even though it's not the worst. Just rather not take any chances, but I figure I would record me driving a little bit to my mom's house while talking about my black car, kind of where and when I got it and why. So obviously I've mentioned that it's a Porsche 911. I brought my camera with me, my other camera. Maybe I'll take some pictures. This one's dying, so I don't know how well it'll hold up to even this video, but yeah, I got it back in 2019, I think, for like a steal, less than $13,000, which at the time was still under market for a Porsche 911 of that year, a 996 base model Carrera 2. They're just not popular. They're considered kind of ugly still by some enthusiasts, even though you got Magnus Walker and some other folks on Team Egg Drop Soup that refers to the different headlight shape that Porsche introduced in the late 90s, early 2000s, and did away with in the 997s, where they went back to the circular iconic headlights. But yeah, I just have always wanted a 911. I had just enough money at the time to sell my Miata that I had before that and pull from my savings a little bit to afford buying this Porsche 911 straight up for, I think the final cost was $12,500. So, a steal, in my opinion. I think most people's opinion. For a low mileage, relatively, 996, it was in good condition. You know, it'd been driven, certainly, over the years. It was almost 20 years old at that time. A little bit of rock chips here and there. It got driven to Vegas, things like that. From Southern California to Vegas is like a between 4 and 8 hour drive, depending on how you do it, through parts of the desert and all that. So it had seen some love, but it was good condition. It still is okay condition now, I would say, but the front bumper's got a bit of a ding in it recently over the past year. And I've mentioned how it needs new suspension, wheels and tires. Just needs love. Like, I've maintained it because was my daily driver for almost 5 years, maybe even more than 5 years. But yeah, the outside was getting beat up. I couldn't afford much. Still can't afford to fix the suspension right now, even. So once this car is done getting some love, that car I need to save up and treat well. But yeah, we're gonna go see it. This camera's dying at the moment, so maybe I'll try and charge it on the way in my car if I can record some video. I could also record video with my other camera. Maybe I'll just do that. But yeah, it's bone stock except for K&N intake, because we need carb legal mods here in California. That was one of the few options that I could afford, so I've got K&N, I think it's a Typhoon intake on my 996. It's got stock exhaust, which sounds like nothing. It's on NK wheels because Japan-made wheels are always going to be better, in my opinion, for the street cred, for the quality. And for the Spirit, that my 996 is always going to be approached with a Japanese kind of JDM attitude, right? It's got an aftermarket steering wheel setup, the hub and the quick release are from Renline, I think, or something, a Porsche specific manufacturer, but the wheel is a Vertex that I had been hunting for a long time, and I finally put some money aside to get it. So I've got a Vertex wheel. I think pretty much everything else is about as stock as it gets. But the wheels and tires, one of the wheels has got a crack in it that scares me. The tires are 4 years old now. Yeah, the suspension's blown, so I wanted to get it off the road for full-time duty. Oh, Jesus. All right. So we'll go see it in a second. I'll tap back in when I'm at my mom's house. Gotta move it for street cleaning, so figure I'll get some quick in-car driving footage. And Jesus. Then I'll record how the car actually sits and looks in a little bit, but typically what I do is I move this car once a week, try and drive it a little bit to keep the battery all good, and park it in between two areas where I have the most time before having to move it again for street cleaning, because I don't have a dedicated spot for this at the moment that's not on a street, but my mom's neighborhood is much better for street parking. I lived in that house for 20 some odd years altogether. Parked my Miata up front, my first car ever. All my cars that I've had, they've never been messed with at this house, so I have no issues parking my, obviously it's very special to me, Porsche 911 at my mom's house. Let's just get it over to the area it needs to be, warm the engine up a little bit. God, cruise control is on? What is that? No? What the fuck? I don't remember what that green light actually is. It's on. Ugh, I can't. Clutch feel in this is much stiffer than my Civic. I'm not used to it anymore. So, driving it a little rougher than I should be. Sorry, baby. Camera's still not dead yet. That's cool. There we go. My cruise control light was on for some reason, so that's weird. But anyways, still drives okay. Aside from the blown suspension I talked about. Bumps are a little rough. She's loud on the road. It's an older car, but it's still very unlike anything I've ever driven. I've spent the most time in this car, so yeah, I've definitely never owned a car longer than this. Don't intend on selling it ever because I'll never be able to afford it again. They've since doubled in value, I think. So this is my forever car, 2000 Porsche 911 Carrera 2 I'm almost there. Is there anything else I can talk about? Reliability-wise, it's been the most reliable car I've ever owned. We'll see how that shapes up if the Honda Civic lives up to the reputation of Honda. But pretty confident of that. Either way, this one's only let me down once, only giving me a couple minor issues. I did do the IMS bearing fix. If any of the 996 heads are watching and are like, high mileage 996, did you fix your IMS? Yes. It was the first thing I did when I bought the car. Shelled out the money for the IMS bearing upgrade, not just a straight up replacement. So it's got the oil feed from my oil system to keep the bearing happy forever, in theory, from I forget who sells the IMS fix, but the one company that does. It was installed. It's been maintained at this excellent shop called TLG Auto, North Hollywood, Los Angeles, in the Valley. Shouts out to Marco there. He's never been not the nicest guy of all time. No bullshit. Take care of me there. Taking this car there exclusively for the entire time that I've owned it, because there's Porsche specialists. Matt Farah, I believe, had an engine build there. He probably has some of his cars maintained there, because I think he has kind of like a Baja style or whatever Porsche build, and I think he's got a Cayman or something. I haven't kept up with Smoking Tire or Matt Farah in a while, but I remember seeing the feature there on TLG and Marco for an engine type thing. But good dude, good shop. I've maintained this thing as best as I can, obviously aside from the suspension. So engine-wise, about as mint as I could hope for, given, yeah, it's been daily driven up until now for almost 5-6 years. And yeah, so about to park it, get a little footage then, just to walk around and take some pictures, maybe go get my other camera for my Civic up the block. Park it in the shade. Reverse is in a different spot than Honda's, so glad I remembered that. Here should be fine. Okay, so I've just parked in front of where I park my black car. It's windy as fuck right now, and LA is on fire, so the audio is going to be dog shit if I just walk around and talk. So maybe I'll do like a little music cut thing, just get 30 seconds of a walk around, and, you know, I'll take a couple of pictures with my Fuji. But, yeah. Excuse me. Alright, back from my little couple-hour adventure moving my other car at my mom's house. So I'll try and drop in a couple of pictures I took with both of these cars together. And yeah, I figure this was just a good opportunity to kind of introduce my other car to this content that I'm putting up. Yeah, hopefully wheels and tires for that soon, and suspension, which it really, really fucking needs. But this car is actually gonna get wheels and tires first, so later today I'm gonna be picking up some wheels, and I think my whole process on picking and finding those and getting them and showing them on video will be stuff for another time. So I think I'll just chop up this little couple of clips here as a little Porsche 911 check-in. And yeah, next up, Civic. Getting the wheels today, and then maybe I'll either wait, because I'm supposed to get tires mounted on Monday. So I'll either wait to show everything on the car all in one video, or not. I don't fucking know. But anyways, if anyone ever does watch this, thanks for watching. I like music better than you, and I like cars too.